Good morning, everyone. Tonia Reeves, Australias Cowgirl Medium, here with Tony Kiss from the Human Repair Shop in Sydney. Hey, Tone.
I love your T-shirt. I gotta say, I just love your T-shirt. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. I'm on brand today. Look at that.
Well, both of us are there. We're happening. We definitely are. Tell me what's been going on in country Victoria.
Oh, wow. What's been happening? Cold weather. We've had a real cold snap here. So everyone's a bit like, oh, put the jumpers on, which, Jeanette, you will not have any comprehension of. But, you know, hello, we're freezing down here. Wood heaters going, rain.
We've actually had it quite warm up here for winter, which is quite surprising.
Wow. That is pretty cool.
Hey, Jeanette, how are you? Good to have you on board. Let's have a look. What's been happening? Sorry, I wasn't here last week, was I?
No,
we had staff off. Yeah,
bitch.
It did. That's exactly what I had to do. It was just what you got to do. I don't mind. It's pretty cool though. Exactly. Lisa, how are you? Good to see you on board. So I'm sort of back on board now. But it's one of those things, you know yourself, Tonia. It's having your own business. People get sick, and then you've just got to. That's life. You just get on with it. You just cover wherever you have to cover, and there's nothing you can do. We're human beings living on this planet. 24 degrees with some wind. Yes, Jeanette, I believe it was at 24 degrees. You're freezing, aren't you? Brilliant.
Oh my God. That's what Andrew said. He goes, next winter we're getting out of here. I went, yeah, we said that last winter.
Geez. No. So what's been happening in everybody's wonderful world? I'm really interested in what's going on.
We just had a really powerful full moon at the moment. There's a lot of things that have been coming up for people, and a lot of synchronicities around is what I've noticed, which is been pretty cool, and things falling into place. I got the okay that I'm doing a ride that I kind of pictured that I was doing, but it was booked out really quick, so I kind of like, I've missed out on it, and then it came. They changed the dates for me. Well, not for me, but they changed the dates so I could make it. But not deliberately. They just happened to change the dates. And the first dates I couldn't do because I was going to be away. And then it was booked out really quick. So it's a 250-kilometre horse ride over 14 days in South Australia.
Wow. 250 Ks.
Yep. So, yes, it's crazy.
That's amazing. So you're going to do it?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, yep. Booked in. Well, it was just, it was one of those moments when I saw it come up. And Pack Saddling Australia, I've done 2 rides with before. They're great. John and Joe are incredible. They're just real salt of the earth people, and they organise the best rides. And
nice.
When it first came up, I was like, yes, I want to do it. And then it was going to clash with being away for Bright and something else. And then, so that was, I'd kind of messaged Joe and said, love to go, but the dates don't work. And she's like, well, it's pretty much booked, So then my friend that's going just happened to say on a ride last week, she goes, they've changed the dates. And I went, and when I'd first read about this trip, I had this feeling I'm going, right? So I was I was really excited. I got, the confirmation from my spiritual people that I'm going, right? So then I looked at the dates, wrong dates. There's no way I could have done it. So I just went, okay, maybe I'm going to do it another time. But I'd still had this thing of, I think I'm doing it anyway. So my friend last week said, you wouldn't believe they've changed the dates. And I went, what dates have they changed it to? And she goes, oh, they've pulled it back a week, right? Which meant that it was a 2-week window of where I didn't have, commitments and bookings. And I was like, oh my God, I can go. And she goes, oh, there's a heap on the waiting list. And they can they were going to try and get 8 in, but they can only take, I think, 4 or 6 people, I think.
Okay.
So the numbers that put it down, so they had the waiting list was even bigger. And I said to my friend, I go, I'm going. And she goes, go you. She said, get onto it. So I'd love you to come. So I messaged Joe and I said, Joe, I'm on the list. My psychic vibe is saying I'm going. And she said, oh, she's laughing. She goes, oh, Tonia, I've got it. Like there's a fair waiting list. But she said, don't worry. If you don't get into this one, you can go and you can come with us. We're going to do more next year. And I was like, nah, I'm going this year.
Yeah, nice.
know I'm going. So, and I'm like, I'm not putting it out there for anyone's horse to break down or anything bad, but I was like, I'm going to be there, right? So,
good on you.
Because they changed the dates, all the ones that were going couldn't make it, and others had other commitments. So all of a sudden, there was this exit of all these people that were going or could make it, suddenly couldn't. So guess who's in?
You're in. Well done. Congratulations, Tonia. I'm excited for you. I think we're all excited for you. That's brilliant. That is bloody brilliant. Well played. That is really, really good. Hey, we've got a few people on board. We've got Monica, Bridget, Nick, Lisa, all of you. G'day. How are you? Good to see you on board. Doing some good shares, like Tonia was just saying, just being aligned, what was the word you used? It was alignment. It was...
Yeah, trusting, like just following the feel and going, you know what? I mean, I wasn't attached to it. I thought if I have to go next year, I will, but I just kept getting shown that I was going to be on the ride. And it took probably 8 people to cancel for me to get on. So,
oh my God, the odds of that happening are like 1,000,000 to 1. 8 people. Hey, look, I just want to share something with all of you listening on board, because it's a pretty special week this week, and everybody's had a part of it, which has been pretty cool. You might remember a good friend of ours, Rupert Guinness, who, Tonia, you had on board. It was back in 2020 or 21 where Rupert Guinness did a virtual ride across America on a bike. And you actually had a chat to him. You actually were chatting to him whilst he was on the ride, which was insane. He was just such a champion. Like, the guy most probably had that much media. He was on the bike 20 hours a day for 12 days consecutively. And the reason he went on that ride was, he's an ambassador for mental health, and he promotes mental health. He doesn't have a specific charity that he works towards. He's just saying, this is what you can do for your mental health, and spreads a good word about it. The reason he did that virtual race was because he couldn't go to America. None of us could. All of us supposed to be the physiotherapist. I was supposed to be a mindset coach. And so we decided to do it indoors virtually, which is totally different. But it's nothing like the real thing, as you'd know, like going on a horse ride for 250 Ks. Last year, Rupert actually went out and attempted to do Race Across America in America, which is 4,828 kilometers that you have to do in 12 days, which is another 20 hours on the bike every day, up and down hills, through the cold, through the heat, the desert, the rain, sleeping for maybe 4 hours a day if he was lucky, hallucinating like there's no tomorrow. Last year, out of the 12 days, he lasted 2 days. I think he had to get out on the third day. He couldn't finish it. The heat was extreme. He just didn't have, for whatever reasons, the stars weren't lined up. And I've got to say, really happy, because all of you have listened to him, and Tonia, he absolutely loves you, and he thinks you're a superstar. He actually just came back from America. We've been watching. He's completed his Ram Across America. He did it in 12 days, 19 hours, and I think it was 41 minutes. And he was only 50% of the field finished of that started off. He won his age group, which is fantastic. So he came first for the first time ever doing it. It's all about completion. And basically he won 3 awards, and it was, you get one for a finisher's medal, which means you finish the race, and you did that.
That's massive.
Yeah, that's huge. He got first place in his age group. Now, I've got to say, Rupert Guinness, to his true credit, he just hit. It's amazing how you say how things happen in time. He hit his 60s, and when you got into your 60s, you had a bit more leniency with time, just a little bit, but not too much. But the thing is, the good thing about being in the 60 to 64 age category, all his other competitors didn't finish. So he was guaranteed first. So that's, it's all about finishing. So it's well played. But there's another award that he got handed out as well, which is called the Red Lantern Award. And the Red Lantern Award is the person that comes dead last. Now, and I think that is such a cool thing to have, is not only win your age category, but I think it was the oldest guy to finish solo across America. And I asked him yesterday, he came into the clinic, I go, Rupert, which one of those 3 titles means the most to you? And he had a bit of a laugh, and he goes, out of all of them, he goes, it's the finisher's plate. He goes, getting bonus, becoming first and last as well as just a bonus most, but that finisher's plate is what it's all about. And I think it's like that. in life as well, where, you know, if we go out to set out to do a project, it's about just finishing the project, not about, you know, coming first or whatever it is. And it was really nice. He's thanked everybody that's ever supported him, and that goes to you guys as well. So I thought I'd share that with you because it's a bit of an inspirational moment, and it's somebody that we personally know. So it's really, really cool. So
That's awesome.
He's
such a great fun guy. We had a ball with him on the show.
Yeah.
Like, great.
Yeah, he's a lovely character. Let's go through some of these comments because we did ask you what's going on. Jeanette's got something here, and I'll throw this over to the rest of the community. And Tonia, Jeanette goes, I'm trying to see if I should and can go back to my business and how. Oh, okay, let's go. Tonia Reeves, Nick, and a few of us are in business. Let's open this up.
Yeah, I shared, Jeanette, your holistic counselling link to one of my clients who's been looking for, you know, getting some counselling done. And to me, I think there's a big shortage of, and you're intuitive, so there's the intuitive counselling. What you offer there, I think, is absolutely niche. And to me, I couldn't see why that wouldn't go off, and still complement that with your healings and readings. I think, you know, that's a definite, but I think like holistic counselling, and you know, we know Jeanette so well, and she holds great space, and in any of her modalities she's amazing. But to me, for somebody to start off with holistic counselling, they're dipping their toe in the water, and then they're able to go, oh, you know, oh, you do readings, and oh, these healings.
Yeah.
So you've got all these offshoots, and I can't see where you'd go wrong with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. What is it? So she goes, I'm trying to see if I should go back into it. If it's something, Jeanette, my advice, if it's something that you love doing and you feel like, as Tonia says, you do it well, you've got a bit of a talent for it, go for it.
Yeah, which popped up here. I'm still trying to figure it all out, like the best way. Don't worry about the best way, just get it out there, Jeanette. Like, we worry too much, or, you know, that part of that is holding ourselves back by going, oh, I need to do it the right way. I would just put it out there, holistic counselling, get it out there, get it out to the masses, go and see other businesses that could complement that, or could recommend you. Just get yourself out there and get started. And all it will take is a few to come to you, and then the recommendations will come in. You'll be busy. You really will.
Yeah, that's it. And look, maybe I would actually have a look, Jeanette, the other way to look at it as well. So you see, Tonia's is very easy. Like Tonia's business model, or the way she spruiks her business, is quite easy. If you've got somebody who's passed away and you need to get in touch with them, that's in spirit, then give me a call. Really easy. It's your demographics there. Do you know a dead person? Do you want to get in touch with them? I'm your person. As simple as that gets. So I think what you've got to do with Jeanette is having a look at what types of people or what type of problems that you like working with. So what are you the solution to? Yeah. So here at Human Repair Shop is like, if you like to keep on moving and being active, but you're injured and you can't, come and see us, we'll fix you. That's as simple as it gets. Yeah. So yeah, so that's what you've got. Is it relationships that you're going down? Is it, I don't know. Holistic counseling could be so many things. Is there like, would it be like past life karma or things like that? Would that sort of come into it, or those energetic ties or anything like that?
I think for Jeanette, she's got the Reiki background. She's an amazing healer. She's, and so she's got a fair few things there that she could utilize within this. But to me, and I think, Jeanette, I spoke to you, I would run a women's circle. I would run a women's circle, put it out there, do a 10-week, gathering of women. That's your ideal clients. And Jeanette, you saw me model that, and that's how I started doing weekly gatherings for women, and it grew into, it took time. Like, it wasn't, we just didn't instantly get a heap of people. You start off with 4, then it gets to 6, then it gets to 10. Then, I started a second class as well, and pretty much most of those that came to class I did readings for. So for me, that's gathering people that get to know you, and they're your best advertisers as well, because they go away and go, Jeanette's amazing. Somebody comes to them with a problem, I'll go and see Jeanette. Like, you become that, it gives you that authority figure of, being able to be good at what you do, and you're showcasing what you do just by being who you are.
Yep. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's pretty cool. That's good. I hope that helps you out, Jeanette, too. And yeah, just go out there and do it. I'd be focusing on who you can help. Like network, I suppose I like what Monica's got here. It's a really good one. I put myself into the local spiritual mags, hoping that drums up some interest. Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. Let us know how you go with that. And Monica goes, that's why I love local markets on a Sunday. I keep putting myself at, yeah, look, that's a great one, Monica. That's there, Jeanette. I'd be doing some of that stuff, getting out there. I'd also be going out to other healthcare practitioners, and then just, GPs or physios, chiros, whoever deals with people, or just counselors. And just you've got to have a point of difference, though. Like, so we've just got a psychologist that's in now at the moment. She's fantastic with teenagers. So we refer all our teenagers to her, right? That's what we do from a psychology point of view, because we need to know as practitioners who we're going to send to. So I've got another person who specializes in mediation. So that person there, anybody going for a divorce, we've got a person that we send to. We've got another guy who's a psychologist, and we refer to him with dads that are struggling after divorce, like how to be a good dad, what role do they play after that, how do they coexist with their ex-partner so they can raise their children, all that kind of. We've got a guy for that. So Jeanette, that's what you've got to do, is you've got to, I think, get into a niche. And Nick, you say it quite well as well. You go, keep believing in your product. Our gifts are all different, and keep showing up. Yeah. Never too late. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
That's mostly the hardest. Yeah, the hardest thing is finding your groove. And you know what? Nick's right and Tonia's right. You'll keep on going down an avenue, and then the world will tell you what they need from you, and then you got to switch.
That's right. And if you're not sure, like what Jeanette's put in there, put it out there and see who's responding, who you're getting which clients are coming to you. If you're not sure, if you go, okay, I've got women that have hit middle age and might want, they've realized there's more to life and they want to, reinvent themselves, or it might be young ones coming to you because they suffer anxiety, or, there's so many different groups. And if you look at who you attract, that is really important. Like I'm amazed. For me, there's a fair part of my clientele that are young. So when I say young, like under 25.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty interesting for, and it's not that I think the young ones are more than open to it, but, often it is those that are sort of older in life, you'd probably, for the most part, is those going through middle age or upheaval in their life. So, you do get that. That's a fair group as well. But, it's just interesting to sometimes be an allowance of put it out there and go, if you're not sure, let be guided by who connects with you. But I still think, like you said, Tony, like getting clear on your motivation. Like for you, Jeanette, if it's women you want to attract more, well, that's about wording. And you can ask some questions, like things like, are you struggling? Are the kids grown up and you're struggling to, take on the next chapter? Or is anxiety ruling your life? Those things that you're good at, put those questions up. So people read it and go, hell yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's nice. I like that. Yeah.
Working on self. But, like trying to find a venue. Now, Jeanette and I had this conversation a month ago. You should have a venue by now, Jeanette. No pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
Or do it from home if you need to. Don't make that an excuse. Like that's because that's the egoic mind going, and like Jeanette shared there, fear of failure. Understand that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Look, my favorite fear of failure one is when you look at statistics in sports, and sports is such a good example of how we live our lives. But mostly the favorite one that I've got, and then I can relate to, is that old American baseball player Babe Ruth back in the 50s. And he held the world record for home runs in baseball, which is great. But he actually, and only got overtaken not long ago in the last decade or so. But he actually held another world record, and it outdid how many home runs he did. Outdid it easily 2-1, 3-1, if not more, which was he got more strikeouts than home runs. And I think that's really, so he got it wrong more times than he got it right. Yeah. And it didn't stop him. It didn't hold him back. Look, my sport of choice is football, is soccer. And I look at the stats and I'll look at some of my favorite like soccer players like Mohamed Salah, who plays for Liverpool, and he'll score 1 goal, but he's had like 12 shots on goal that game. Like 12, right? And he's missed 12, but he got 1 in, right? So the whole thing is if we judged our favorite sporting players, you know, how they went on every time they missed, it would really suck. All we're worried about is that you're giving it a go and you're trying to shine. That's what people get connected to, is at least you're giving it a go. Nobody's looking for perfection. Nobody's looking for anything else. No. It's just, you got to keep on going, and you got to get out of yourself. Like, your motivation has to be that you want to heal others, not whether or not you look good, sound good, or are doing it right. That's, I think, exactly. That's the barrier you've got to get over, Jeanette.
And Jeanette, can I just share too something that just came up then as well? You shared that you had your mum over, and there was, I know that we'd spoken in the past about family dynamics, so maybe that could be a great one too. People struggling with family dynamics, because there's not many that specialize in that, and that's just something that, you know, for those that struggle with their relationships with those in the family, it can just be helpful to have someone that, you know, and you don't see that often. Do you need help with family dynamics? You know, someone to give them permission to say, treat you like crap, get rid of them, or this is how we do some healing around it, because you've experienced it. And I think if you go back to history, like go back to what's happened in your life before, what have you been shown the lessons of that you know intimately, and you can say, hey, I know what this feels like. I know, you know, I've had that experience. I can share that because I know how it feels. And I think if you can put that feeling into it, you know, if you can put that feeling, like, you know, maybe family make you feel like shit. I'm here to help you. You know, I'm the family member that's not related, but I'll you know, help you put that to bed and meet great family, not by blood, if you don't have support from your blood family, you know. I don't know, just a thought. But, you know, think outside the box, because it's not hard to do, but and also go by your history.
Exactly. Hey, Erica Bailey, how are you? Good to see you on board. Susie puts it quite.
We haven't seen Hudson forever. Remember how little Hudson now he would be? Let us know how old he is, Erica, because he used to get on and watch. Remember, he's probably at school now.
He's on school holidays though now. He should be. Susie's got a good one here. I've been continually reminded by spirit and life, don't wait for perfect. The poster always moving. Such a good. I like that, Susie. Thanks. Do you like that one, Ton? That's pretty cool.
Love it. And there's no such thing as perfect. You know, there isn't. Like, we like to think, or we often look at others and go, oh, that's so perfect. Yeah. But, you know, we can't see it in ourselves. So just say, you know, I'm perfect. I'm right where I need to be. Surrender to spirit. Trust.
Yeah, it's a nice way of putting it. I really like that. What else have we got?
Jeanette's put in here also, I've been meditating every night with this really old, like 70s guy. It's amazing, trippy, but amazing. And I'm feeling much more positive. That's awesome. And they're the sort of things, fill your cup up, Jeanette, and then it'll be like, I can do this. It's easy.
Nice. Oh, he's 4.
Oh, wow. I was thinking in kindergarten. My goodness. Erica's in Perth. What a beautiful part of the world. Love Perth. Yeah.
Well, she's like 12 days behind or something, isn't she, from a time point of view?
12 days. 3 hours, isn't it? 3 hours.
3 hours, yes. Yeah.
Tell us, what time is it over there?
Jeez.
So, small world. Okay, so Jeanette's going to check out Monica's recommendation. Awesome, Monica. That's great. You know, and there's a sister helping out another sister. And I think really when we're all in the same boat, you know, it's so great to be able to help each other and not look at it like no one's competing. We're all just out there doing the best that we can, and we support each other. And I really think as light workers, we're coming together with that this year. I believe there's been a lot of people start to realize, you know, it's not a competition, and, you know, we're just all doing the best we can. Let's support each other. There's enough people.
I like that. Nick puts in, I'm really interested to see how everybody feels about this. I'm going to ask you to throw comments in on this one. Nick, great one that you brought up. We always look at our failures, but don't look at the success we have achieved. Look at the strength that you've got here, doing what you love doing. I want to know every time, I like how Nick's worded this, when something doesn't work out the way that you want it to, how do you react? Do you look at it as a failure, or do you look at, is there some success in there? Or do you give yourself credit for when you do get success? Or do you go back, oh, I could have done this better? So the question is, when you fail, what's your perception of it and how do you react? And how many times do you acknowledge the good stuff that happens? That's what I'd be asking. I'll throw it over to you, Tom. What would you say on that one?
Look, it's like, I remember, and Tony, over the years, like, I love Louise Hay and follow a lot of her stuff. And I remember her saying, when she got up on stage, she said, when I first got up on stage, I probably sucked at it. She said, but I made sure when I got off, I just said, that was great. You did the best you could. She said, as she told herself, and each time will get better. Next time will be better. And the time after that will be better. She never said, that's crap. I did a really crap job of it. She said, and, it's so to me, and that was what it was like for me, because when I do my shows, I can't prepare for that. So I can't stand up and go, oh, like Tony, for you, say with your comedy, you would have out, you would pretty much follow a procedure. Would that be right? Or you'd try to? So now it works. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Procedure. Do a little operation in amongst
procedure. Say something. Hopefully they laugh. That's a procedure. Come on, people. Come on. That was good.
I was the same,
yours is geez. I think everybody can relate to what you go through in the spiritual, like anybody that's a medium or anybody that's a clairvoyant here, because this is, I'm going to put it down into really basic terms. You walk into a gig and go, what the hell is going to come up today? I have no idea. Is anybody going to turn up? I'm shitting myself. Will I get it right? Will I get it wrong? But the amount of surrendering and trust you need to have in your job is absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely. Like, it is insane. It's on the next level. Comedy to a degree is easier when they come for a paid gig, is because, meaning the audience pay to go and see, because they've paid to come and have a good time. They pay to have, they want to laugh. That's basically it. They don't want to be connected to a loved one. There's like, say some funny shit, make me laugh, right? That's really silly. Yes. Theirs is, I've got a dead person I want to connect with. You connect with them and you're going, there's no script. I don't have a script that I can go off to go, dear dead person, I'll let you do. I'm summoning you to the room and this is what I'd like to connect you with. That shit doesn't happen for you. Whereas comedy really sounds easy, but it's heartbreaking at times.
And look, it can be hard. And I did that to start with. I was a little bit like, oh, that wasn't, as a medium, I would look at it and go, that wasn't, gee, were those connections? Like, I knew the connections were fine, but sometimes you'll have it out of the box. People love, because it's entertainment as well. And some of the ones that seem a little bit more sedate, or, you haven't had that, oh my God, that really, everyone's touched by that one specific connection. The ones that I've looked at and maybe gone, oh, there, that wasn't as bouncy as the others, has been the one where I've always got more bookings and more feedback on.
I like it how many times you stuffed up. I could really relate. Let's book it.
And it's like, yeah, but who am I to judge? So that spirit kept saying to me, stop judging. It's not for you to judge.
Exactly. Good advice. Bridget's got a good one here. I like Bridget's one. Failure to me is, it wasn't meant to be. Just love it. Just wasn't meant to be. I like that. What do you like about that? There's something I do like about that, where it's there's a charm to it.
Yes, sometimes when I will attempt something and I can't think of anything offhand, but I'll go, oh, that died on its ass. So I pivot. I'm just like, okay, pivot next, and I think if you have a bit of a default setting to go, right, tried that, but you've also got to give it time. So that's another thing, is we tend to be very quick to go, oh, that didn't work because it didn't happen in the first week.
Yep.
I think we have to look at, you need to build things, and that means building trust for people to purchase. They don't just go, oh, I like that person, I'm going to go and book a reading, or book a healing or whatever. They want to get to know you as a person. They want to feel that they can trust you, and that can't always be picked up in sharing quotes and things. Even sometimes we need to get on board and go, this is me, hey, I'm going to share a video. This is my story. This is a really good one. I'm doing a festival in the Outback Spiritual Festival in Broken Hill. And I've always seen it a huge success, right? It's out in the middle of nowhere, real gutsy effort. And Jill, who's organising, she's been stressing because she's only sold 50 tickets. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so she did this post saying to people, this is what it costs, appealing to everyone to share it because she needs to sell. She's invested her life savings in it. It's really, really massive, but she's been very vulnerable. So that's enabled everyone to share and go crazy. And, and it's like I'd shared yesterday morning and I'm like, it'll sell out. Like, honestly, but I don't have any doubt that it's going to be quite successful. So I was like, buy your tickets. And then that afternoon she's messaging going, oh, I've only sold 50. I'm like, oh, I've already put it out there, sunshine. And good old Grant Denya's commented as well. So we'll get it out there,
Oh, there we go. There's some heavyweight there. I like it. Yeah. Hey, look, Jeanette's got a really good one here. Is she just quickly said, which is a positive here. My daughter is 17, finds it hard to know what she wants or have any incentives. So last night we had a big conversation about her business studies she's doing. So I've given her some homework to use my business as a guinea pig to model how to get my biz functioning effectively. She's going to speak to her teacher to help. This will always help. This will also help her in the future for her own business. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's clever. Free marketing, free business plan. It's good, yes. Jeanette. That's the way I do it.
At the same time. Love it.
Here you go. Lisa's got a good one. Cause you can get in your own head. That's why trust is so important. Yeah. Look, we do. Our minds are sometimes our worst enemy, aren't they, Lisa? And you know this yourself, Tonia, the self-talk, the self-doubt, and self-doubt just likes to get in there and really echo around sometimes. So yeah, trust is a big thing. It's hard to trust. You know what, Lisa? It's hard to trust when the doubt is just screaming at you, and it's overriding that. With trust, I suppose that it'll be okay. You'll get through this. No matter what, blah, blah, blah. Really good point. I like Lisa's point. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. Trust is, and the bizarre part about it when you look at that bit of psychology behind it is we'll trust other people, but we don't always trust ourselves. And that's the person we need to be trusting the most is ourselves. But it's it's something we're not actually taught how to do. So I'd be interested to see on this feed who I suppose we'd all struggle with trust if we're honest, but does anyone have anything that they do to help trust and surrender? Maybe whether it's to a decision or, doing something. Like, I'd love to see some different shares on here. How do you trust and how do you surrender? And, what are the tools that you use for that to be able to help at times of maybe you are struggling, or like Jeanette shared, and others have shared here, like, we go through ups and downs in life, which is common, but how do we, surrender more? What do people find effective? What do you find, Tony?
Ooh, look, it's interesting. I'm going to say, hello, Shelby. How are you? Good to have you on board.
Hey, Shelby.
I'm going to say, look, I'm going to go out on a limb here. How do we trust? How do we trust? Trust has to have a few elements. It's got to be, is the person congruent with what they're saying? So if they're saying something, are they actually doing it? Are they consistent with their messaging? Is there a gut feeling as well? And is there acceptance for when things go wrong? So those sorts of, because that's your reaction. Something goes wrong. Are you accepting of it? Going, I trust that person. I know they come back. Somebody who's actually mimicking this quite well, that I believe is how we're going to get trust, is AI technology. AI technology is bloody brilliant. And if you've ever used Chat GPT, right? So you'd all be across it. Have you ever used it, Tonia?
A friend of mine did, because she looked up me and she sent me what it said about me, like as in you can actually get on there and post up, and it was the most amazing information. I was like, that's a bio.
Yeah. Okay. So with the thing I like about Chat GPT, it goes, I'm going to try to give you, let's say, a really good letter or an email, write in the topic, whatever it may be, and what the messaging is and what's the outcome and all that. And ChatGPT will formulate a letter or an email for you. And it always says, he goes, look, I'm going to try my best, but if it's not right, just let me know and I'll regenerate another one. So what it does is it goes out and sources all the information, and it's pretty much 70% right most of the times if you're putting information in. But you go back and go, nah, can you give me something different? And it'll go and regenerate something again. So from a trust perspective, it's like, I trust that you will eventually get it, because every time they regenerate it, by the time you get to your fourth or fifth one, you go, that's pretty much spot on. That's what I've wanted. But I've accepted that it's going to have faults. So I'm not looking for perfection, because it never claimed it had perfection in the first place.
Wow. Yeah.
So now when it comes down to a trust perspective, I feel, because trust is an I feel thing, I feel that ChatGPT will keep on doing it. And then psychologically, I'll go, I know that there's errors in there, but they'll keep on going until they get it right. So from a feel and think perspective, that's where the trust is sort of built.
Mm.
And it's not through, if ChatGPT went, it's a perfect model, you write in one sentence, it'll give you the perfect letter or email, and it doesn't, then trust is broken, because it's trying to say that it's a perfect product and it knows it's not. So, and then I've got another conversation that AI will be our new gods and Google will be, because in Google we'll trust. That's what will happen. Because all we want is a freaking answer to a freaking question. And if we don't have to think and somebody else can do it for us, we'll just Google it. And that's what will happen. You ask school teachers how they go with ChatGPT and Google and all that. Well,
life-changing. It would be.
It's interesting. That's my two spins.
Maria's on board. And Maureen, hi, Maurs. Yeah, but Jeanette's also put in here, I get my braces off in 4 weeks. My mouth will be totally clear for talking and guiding. Your mouth is clear now, Jeanette. Do not wait 4 weeks. There you go. That's an excuse. I'm calling it. That's an excuse. Get on live. You can also, another great thing for those of you that are wanting to up your business ante, is to ask your clients. So get on there, do a video and say, I'm a holistic counselor. Where have you, what areas have you found, that you may have thought you wanted a counselor? I mean, I've said it all wrong, but you know what I mean? You can ask them and say, hey, a holistic counselor here, love to get your feedback on what areas in life do you need help with? Get people love to chat about things like that, and you'll get the responses. And then,
that's me beating my drum. You got to beat your own drum. So that's a drum, and that's Tonia beating it. Like, beat your own drum.
Exactly.
I was never good as an actor. I would be more like, oh, it's loud. But yeah, you got to beat your own drum. Susie Williams, I love this one. Thank you for this one, Susie. I see failure as a wrong way. Stop and try again. Remember to turn around. When you drive down the wrong road, we need to stop and turn around.
But as reading Susie's, I went, what do we determine as a failure? Like, is it actually ever a failure?
It's when we don't live up to our mum and dad's expectations of us.
Yeah, that's
I'm joking. That's a load of shit. We could, you know what? As a mum and dad, I think you just want your kid to be happy and healthy, and that's it. That's the only expectation. And just don't blow up anybody else's house. As long as you do those three things, we're pretty happy. Yeah.
And I love this share of Lisa's as well. I think when I'm more in tune with myself, the trust comes easier. Yeah.
That's the gut feeling, Tonia. You know what I'm saying? Like there's an element of trust where it's a gut feeling. Yeah.
Exactly.
So there's that as well, which is quite interesting.
Absolutely. And, and what Lisa shared is correct. When you're more in tune with yourself. So these are things like meditation. And this is kind of what I was looking at before when asking that question. What helps you get into that space easier, and what helps you be able to have more trust and be able to surrender that bit more. And it really is taking time out for you and working on, ourselves and not the external distractions and things.
Yep. Agree. It's a really nice one, Lisa. I like it. It is getting in touch with yourself, doing the meditation. and doing that. But yeah, it is one of those things. A lot of people are getting into meditation and mindfulness at the moment. It feels like we're going back into the 60s and 70s where we became these spiritual flower children and became hippie. Because that was a big movement around that era as well. And that was also, but don't forget, that was, your 60s was post-war stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, how do we get out of this depression? How do we do this, that, the other? And it was meditation and mindfulness that really got them through. And then a shitload of drugs. But that's...
But how often do you find, and I know this myself, we do something, so we get into a great spiritual practice. We regularly meditate, then all of a sudden we feel fantastic. So what do? We stop doing it.
I know. It's like anything. Here you go. Nick goes in. I find sitting with myself away from the outside noise. I no longer look at loneliness and depression, but learn to trust the voice of my internal soul. Oh, I like that.
So do I. So do I.
That's it. Natasha's got an interesting one. How can I help your daughter if she's self-harming and she thinks she's failing? Natasha, you know what? You can. The first thing that I would say, and I'm sorry to hear that because it's a very tough one to go through. You've got to get her onto a counsellor. You need to get her onto a GP. You need to get a mental health assessment done. Because if she's self-harming is actually, look, now they're gone into an action phase. So we need intervention here. So your role as a mum is to love and support her, not to fix her because you don't have the skills or you don't have the tools to do something like this. And I say that from a loving place. I don't say it as a disrespectful place, but there are people that specialize in this, like Tash, how we was saying before with Jeanette, work out what kind of holistic counseling you want to be. Is it relationship? Is it helping kids that go through self-harm, this, that, and then you send, your child to that person. That's what you need to do. That's what about you, Tonia? This one you can relate to?
Yeah, I can relate to 100%, Tash, and Tony is spot on. Don't try and navigate it yourself. Get all the help that you can. Because
professional help.
Professional help, exactly. And often as a mum, they don't listen to you. It comes from somebody else, they'll take notice. So, it is about getting the right people on board, and sooner rather than later.
And the other thing, the good thing about seeing a professional is they don't have a bias and they don't know all the stuff. They don't have a history. So let's say if I had a daughter, right? And I'd be going, okay, she's going through self-harm, this, that, the other. I would have so many filters built up to go, she's going to bullshit here. She's going to try to use this excuse here. She'll only be good for 2 months and then she'll piss me off in 3 months' time. And so I will have so many filters that I'm looking at. And then I'll be going, no, but there's this unconditional love and I should support her this way. And they're just, how do you get clarity out of that? You don't, because you've got these emotional biases that's going to block you from helping your kid the way that you've got to help them. That's the good thing about a professional. They don't have any of that. They don't have any history with your kid. They just see a kid in pain and needs help, and they navigate through that way there.
And holding space as well. I did a reading the other week for a lovely lady whose son has mental health and also addiction issues. And, she was really beside herself. And I said, look, all we can do as parents is hold space. And I have been shown from spirit that the worry that we put, when and you can't help but worry, of course, being a parent, but if we can just sit in a space of visualizing that child healthy and really working on ourselves is so important to help bring about a change in a sibling. And Tash is going, she's 20, so she can't force her.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also understand, Tash, that she's come in with this challenge. So as a mum, all you can do is hold space. And rather than sending worry and being stressed about it, because look at it as energy, right? If we're really stressed out and we're like, whether it's a child or a family member, it's really things are going south. If we're really worried and anxious, that energy gets directed at that person. So the more we can sit in our personal power and say, okay, I visualize my child healthy and and happy, and really sit in that and send that instead, really makes a big difference. And I've tested that one out, and trust me, it makes a really big difference. You also stop trying to be the rescuer, because being a rescuer then reinforces that they need saving, and they don't. The only person that can change it is themselves.
I like that, Tonia. That's a pretty good insight. Being the rescuer, say that again, that it justifies they need,
Well, being the rescuer, then it kind of validates that they've got there's problems and they can't do it themselves. So if you're trying to take that over, you're taking their power away to be able to find the solution. And it's just something that sat with me. And I'm not saying, you've got to work, being a mother, the hardest job ever, or mum and dad, or, whether it's to kids that are blood or not, it could be whatever. But it is the hardest role to not go down that rabbit warren of, oh my God, stressing the hell out, and really not being able to take a deep breath, sit back and go, what's going to help that, that one that you love the most. And really doing your own inner work is just as powerful, because you're showing the example as well. So we all need to heal ourselves, and rather than the worry onto that sibling, if we work on ourselves, but also sit in your own power with it and just visualize them being good, it really does make a big difference.
Yeah, nice. Look, Tash, you can't get much better than that. It's pretty good. And I can see you've been reaching out to Beyond Blue as well. So really, keep the conversations going though with this, Tash. I think it's really good, really good, which is just brilliant. It's a tough one.
Hey, so Jeanette's just sharing her meditation is a very old one. Her son's managed to find a download by a guy called Robert A. Munro. He apparently goes into galactic energies, etc., out of body and more. Not onto those yet, but I sleep awesomely at night and have been keeping positive with all my rediscovery.
Nice.
Good on you. Good on you.
Yep, I like that's a good share. I like how I like how it's just referred to as a very old man.
Yes. I love it. I love it. Still making a difference, see? And Tash has put here, I must admit it brought up a lot of stuff of my brother's suicide from last year. Tash, for you, there's a lot of going back to that, almost like a post-traumatic thing, because you have experienced somebody around suicide too. That's really hard. So be kind to yourself. Not an easy one.
But I can see how that will be a trigger for you, Tash. 110%. And you're doing the good work, Tash. Like, and this is going back to what Nick and Tonia and everybody else on this, Jeanette, everybody else on this feed has been saying, is we don't look at, we only look at the failures in life, or what we call a failure. We don't look at the successes. And you as a mum, you're doing so many great things. You've got to look at all the positives that you're doing for your daughter. So don't look at anything as a fail, and you're never responsible for anybody else's actions. That's a really, really important, that's no offense, but you would have to have super mind powers to actually have control over somebody else's mind. Do you know what I mean? You can't. You just got to roll with it. What's going through their mind, you can't change it. It's just, that's it. You just got to sit in there and be the best that you can be.
I have to bring this one up because this is your old favorite.
Up and no. Yes, one of my favorite Hawaiian healing modalities. It is brilliant. If you need to know more, just private message me. I'm pretty sure I was really drunk one night and even created a song of Oppo Panononano. It went for about 3 hours. So
it's bad.
Susie, one of my favorites.
Kim, you always provide us with a laugh. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Mustangs are going to be not restricted, Kim, is what the answer to that is. Well, I don't know whether it'll be ready for Townsville, but
I know. And Kim, your man.
Andrew's happy that he's wrapped. He said Andrew's hoping he keeps over in America.
Yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen. How good is he going?
Yeah, that's awesome.
He won his debut race. It was just insane. Good. You got to respect a good race car driver. That's for sure.
That's right, you do. And his field were wiped out, but that's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, nothing.
You got to have a laugh, don't you? You know, as hard as life is.
I'm looking at Nick's one here, and I'm trying to link this one. Can you help me out, Tonia? Where he goes, it's pretty good, but I just want to know what it's linked to. Listen to them and ask how you can help them open the communication. What would that be in reference to?
Tasha's daughter is, I think, Phil Nick's sharing that, saying to listen to them and ask them how you can help and open up the communication.
Yep, absolutely.
And Jack Murphy's popped in. Good morning, Jack. How are you? Coming onto this chat later. I know with troubled children, they take them out into the bush.
For a fix, geez, yeah.
Tony's mind going.
No, I'm just thinking of a few programs where they actually, no, Jack Murphy Murdoch is actually 100% correct. It's a really good thing where, especially teenagers, I think it's Jack Murphy Murdoch, where they get teenagers coming out and they'll have these programs and they'll send them out to the bush and they might have to do a project. And it helps them discover that the world's not about them. They've got to work in a team. So they might have to build a shed or they might have to build a fence around a property and they have reasons why. And sometimes they just go out and learn about the bush and things like that. And they get a better perspective on the world that we live in. Yeah, there's some really great programs around that. But yeah, I remember there's other ways. It could be like just send your kid out to the bush and tell them never to come back until they behave.
Well, they do a lot of equine therapy is really big, you know. Massively taking off for kids. But Tasha's daughter's 20, so it makes it a little bit hard because it's not like she can say, here, come along, we're doing this. It really has to come from her daughter. And, you know, and that's a hard thing as a mum to be able to, you know, sit back and go, how do we navigate that? Like, you know, your daughter's doing at 20, you can only suggest things. You can't be there picking her up and taking her somewhere. Tasha's put here, she's had a lot of past trauma. And look, you know, it will be something of the past, but it's a really tricky one to navigate. Yep,
that's right. But the other thing too is I think, look, I'm sort of skating on thin ice on this one with, she's had a lot of past trauma from her childhood. I think, Tash, that's another one. We've got one of those filters where we're trying to look for where the problems come from. But really, that could be a possibility. But the thing is, until your daughter goes into some sort of counseling or some sort of therapy session, she'll have to discover whatever it is. But I think the most important thing is how to get her thinking correctly in the present and how she can move on forward. I think going retrospectively thinking about it is not really paying dividends because we can't fix the past. And I know sometimes we need an explanation of why it's happened and et cetera, so it doesn't repeat itself. I think she needs just help now in the present on how to get through whatever it is and then to future pace from there. And then things will come up. Yeah. So it's a tough one. It is tough. Diana Clark's on board. How are you?
Hi, how you going? Yeah, so it's interesting. And can I also, I have to do a shout out, Tony. Ted Lasso, we watched, we watched the whole lot, but we missed the first couple of, for some reason, Apple TV decided that we'd watched, I think, this very beginning, but it didn't matter. But it was amazing. And I'm like, typical of Tony, we're watching soccer, like, and I've got no soccer. But it was amazing. And Andrew even said, like, he took so much away from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was like,
how many episodes did you miss out on?
The first probably 3. I said to him, I want to go back, and Andrew can't do that once he's watched something. He goes, no, I'm not.
Watch the first 3. Watch the first 3. They're brilliant. Yeah, but what did he get out of it?
It helped him see things differently, and he said, I'm going to do better. He said, as a human, he was really inspired by Ted.
Oh, really? In what way?
Yeah, he just said, and I think, like, if you know, for those that haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's on Apple TV. So I had to spend $10, you know, to link it for the month. And we watched it in, you know, I don't know, probably 2 weeks. We were like,
yeah, good
binge
on you.
every night. It was like 2 episodes. And for Andrew, it was like watching Ted and the way he dealt with things, you know, like he just was he was able to manage, you know, like situations, and he was just like, yep, that's okay. Like the way he didn't let things affect him, and he really managed that team so well. So for Andrew, he said, oh, it's really made him, he said, I'm going to do better at being a better person. That was his.
That's great.
Yeah, he was really blown away. He said, wow, I got so much out of it. And I thought, you know, Andrew's really old school, typical sort of Aussie, like he's brought up pretty hard by his dad. And, you know, it's the same sort of, I suppose, things of that generation. He was able to see so much within that show that really made him change.
Yep.
Not change, but, you know, like it made him look at things differently.
Yeah, 100%. You know that there's Brené Brown and a few other psychologists, and when they talk about leadership and leadership coaching, they actually get people to watch Ted Lasso from a leadership point of view. I'm glad Andrew got that out of it. That's pretty cool.
He loved it. So I had to say thank you, Tony, for that recommendation. And it's so cool, isn't it, to be able to get, you know, recommend something and watch something, and we can all get different things from it.
Have you still got Apple TV, though?
Yes, I have at the minute because I haven't.
Eugene Levy's got a new show out there. If you haven't seen, I'm pretty sure it's on Apple, and he's got a travel show, and we just started watching it. Yep. I think you'll like it.
All right, I'll check that one out. I love recommendations there's nothing on normal TV, and we don't watch a lot of it, but when you sit down sometimes and think, oh, there's something decent on, it's like it doesn't come from mainstream TV. That's for sure. Carmen's got a great share here. Hello, everyone. A free resource that might help is Teal Swan on YouTube. Her free content has helped heal and make sense of so much for myself. Thank you, beautiful Carmen. Yeah, we love that. Like, again, these are things that can help us when you found something inspirational.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really, really good.
No, thank you. It's a really good share.
Deal with the now and find the strength for today. And when the soul is ready, visit the trauma bit by bit, acknowledge and heal it in a way that suits the person. I believe in visiting your biggest trauma when ready. Keep working with it until you can talk about it without being triggered. And at times, what we think is the trigger may just be the smoke screen for something different.
Right, yeah, nice. Jen? I like that.
So, like that Jeanette, you could be recording this for your. This could be something that you share.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, like counseling, you know, that would be a great share because people would go, oh, maybe there's something deeper. Hang on, I'll get in touch with Jeanette.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Chick knows her stuff.
She definitely does.
Yeah.
Tom, we're about out of time.
We are. And, you know, we're all about time management. We haven't got Pete on board to tell us, so we have to take that responsibility. It's only taken us, probably 4 years, and we're finally onto it?
Yeah. I think we're cracking it, seriously. Never be so proud of my life. Good, you're going to post that today. That's awesome. Hey, guys, I'm going to sign off. I want to say thank you very much to Tonia Reeves. She's always amazing. She always brings in some beautiful insights. And the rest of you guys have been absolutely awesome. So thanks so much for sharing, being vulnerable, and just having a good chat about, you know, things that matter to us. You know, life's not always easy, but I'm glad we can come on board here on a Thursday and just have a chat and see where we are. So, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very much for everybody being beautiful, and stay safe, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, me too. Same time, same place next week. Bye for now.